Alright, hello everyone. My name is Seraphi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today I woke up and I got news that there was a new leak for a Minibox. So I'm half asleep. I saw the first few cards and I decided to get up and do a recording without looking at the rest of the box. The Minibox is called Scream of Resistance, and I have to admit, as soon as I heard the name Scream of Resistance, I was like, how could they be giving us another Roa box already? And no, it's not actually Rush Tools this time. I don't know why they decided to call it Stream of Resistance. It really does sound like it's a Royal Rebels box, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. So our first ultra rare is Altergeist Memory Gant. Altergeist Memory Gant is a Link 4, which requires 2 or more Altergeist monsters. 2,800 attack points during the main phase as it During the battle phase, as a quick effect, you contribute one other monster. This card gains attack equal to the attributed monster's attack points on the field permanently. That's pretty good. It does specifically say that you have to tribute a card, which means that you can't use this card with Mind Control, which is very frustrating because Mind Control is exactly the sort of effect you would want to use with Memory Gant, but you can do it with Widow Anchor. So I definitely think that if you're going to be playing Memory Gant, which is a card that takes all of your resources as an Altergeist player, you should play Widow Anchor so that you can use the effect. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, this card can make a second attack in a row. So that's insane. If your Memory Gant has 4,000 attack points and your opponent has exactly 3 monsters, you can destroy one monster by battle. Then the second monster gets destroyed, if your opponent has exactly 2 monsters. You destroy one monster by battle, you get to destroy the second monster, and then you get to attack directly, which is exactly what you want. So it's a pretty cool effect. The opponent does have to have another monster for you to get a second attack, but they usually will. If this card would be destroyed, you could banish one monster from your graveyard instead. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so if this card would be destroyed, you can banish a monster from your graveyard. That's really, really useful. Yeah, keep Memory Gant on the field, grow its attack points a bunch, and kill your opponent. This is a one-of, and that's nice. It's nice when a mini-box just has one-ofs, which I believe all the others are as well. The other ultra rares, we got Raider's Knight. This requires 2 level 4 darks. It is always treated as both a Phantom Knights monster and a Raid Raptor monster. Rank 4, 2,000 attack points. You can detach one material from this card, a special summon from your extra deck when the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster that is 1 rank higher or 1 rank lower than this card. By using this face-up card, you control as material, but destroy it during your opponent's next end phase. Finally, Raid Raptors have an easy way to make Fiend Eagle. I'm joking. No, this is for Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, which is an extremely powerful card. So Raider's Knight and Arc Rebellion go hand in hand. It's kind of annoying that they're both ultra rares in this game because, ultra rares are extremely expensive in this game. So having 2 ultra rares that are specifically designed to combine together as kind of like a tax is pretty frustrating, but at least they're in a mini box as opposed to a main box. And the power of these 2 cards is worth 2 ultra rares. I'm going to go ahead and say that. This is an insane combo. Okay, so Raider's Knights, the benefit of Raider's Knights effect is that it is a dark Xyz monster that ranks itself up into whatever you want it to be, which for Raid Raptors is very important because it allows them to get all of their benefits. As far as for the Phantom Knights, there aren't really too many Phantom Knights monsters that care about First of all, there aren't too many Phantom Knights monsters that are ranked 5. I don't think there are any, actually. And Phantom Knights don't really care about being ranked up or ranked down. This does let you make Breaksword if you want to, I guess, but that's not a good idea. Phantom Knights will use this to make Xyz Dragon monsters, in particular the other ultra rare in the box, which is Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. This card is insane. So I'm very frustrated that we're getting this card before we get any additional Speedroid support, because this is basically Yuto's best monster. So for Yuto to have a complete collection with Arc Rebellion and Dark Requiem before we get something like Clearwing Fast Dragon is really, really annoying to me. Regardless, it's cool that we're getting all of Yuto's cards. So, and it's been 2 years since Yuto came out, so I guess that's fine. Arc Rebellion Exceeds Dragon. This Exceeds Summon card cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can detach one material from this card. You can only declare an attack with this card for the rest of the turn. Also, this card gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all other face-up monsters on the field. Then, if this card has a Dark Exceeds monster as material, negate the effects of all other face-up monsters on the field. So there you go. That is why you use Raider's Knight to make this card. So Raider's Knight, you instantly go into this rank 5 Exceeds Rebellion. Then you detach one material that is not Raider's Knight. And Arc Rebellion will absorb the attack points of every other monster on the field, yours and your opponent's. It is the only monster that can attack, but then it negates all effects, and then you crash. So if your opponent has a Time Lord, they have a monster with 0 attack points in attack position. If your opponent has Yubel, they have a monster with 0 attack points in attack position. And you just crash and you kill them. That is the power of this card. It is ridiculously strong. So you make this card to kill your opponent. It is not a card you make going first. It is a card that you make to end the game going second. And it is very, very strong. Do not doubt the power of this card. It will win you games. Is this a card that you will play in Phantom Knights? I guess. It's not particularly amazing. I mean, it kills people, absolutely. But Phantom Knights have never really... I mean, I guess Phantom Knights have had kind of a problem of ending the game. So I guess Phantom Knights will continue to play Dark Requiem going first, and Arc Rebellion going second. This is definitely insane for Raid Raptors. This is going to make Raid Raptors crazy good. But as far as Phantom Knights, I'm not too sure how well this will go. Is that a fusion monster? Why is there a fusion monster in this box? Prank Kids? Oh, chat. Oh, now we're talking. All right. All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. Short Circuit. Activate if you control 3 or more Battery Man monsters. Destroy all cards your opponent controls. Oh, that's weird. It's a weird random card to get, finally. I guess there probably is going to be like Battery Man reprints in this box or something. This card is bad. Alright, Performage Damage Juggler. Cool, so Performage has no Ultra Rares in the box. But they have cards in the box. So if you dip into Performage, then you can get this deck relatively cheaply. I like it. It's just a SR, so... When a card effect is activated that would inflict damage to you as a quick effect, you can discard this card and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. During the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can discard this card, reduce the next battle damage you would take this turn to 0. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Performage monster from your deck to your hand, except Performage Damage Juggler. This is a good card, and Performages do not have a lot of cards, so basically my review of every Performage card is going to be, if you want to play Performages, you need this card, otherwise it's not relevant. Trick Clown, same thing. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Performage monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but its second events become 0, then you take 1,000 damage. This will probably be halved to 500. Okay, so Performage Trick Clown can activate its effect when you detach it as Exceeds material. It's just if this card is sent to the graveyard. That's very important. So make your Trapeze Magician detach Trick Clown to get a monster that Trapeze Magician can use to target for the double attack, and then use your skill to make that monster have attack points equal to the highest attack monster in your opponent's field, plus 1,000, and then pop off. So yeah, Trick Clown is going to be a card that you definitely want to play 3 of, and yeah, it's going to be good for the combo. Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon Air Raid. Finally, this is a great card. Rank 6 Dark Wing Beast monster. It requires 3 level 6 Wing Beasts, 2,000 attack, 3,000 defense, basically just Revolution. You can also Exceed summon this card by discarding 1 rank up magic spell and using a rank 5 or lower Raid Raptor Exceeds monster you control as Exceeds material. So basically this card lets you not do math. As long as you have a Raid Raptor and a rank up magic spell, you just discard the rank up magic spell and you get the rank up. So if you have Fiend Eagle, which is a rank 3, and you have Raid Force, which is +1, it goes to +3, and you can just get the rank 6. It's pretty good. You can target one monster your opponent controls. Oh, sorry. If this card is Exceed summon, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if it was face up, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack it had on the field, which will be halved. If this card in its possession is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon from your extra deck, and if you do, attach this card to it as material. That's very useful. So it allows you to summon Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon, first of all, during your opponent's turn, which is really good, but it also gives Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon an Exceeds monster as material. So the Raid Raptor cards typically don't say if this card was Exceeds summoned using a monster as Exceeds material, they just say if this card has an Exceeds monster as material. So Revolution Falcon Air Raid is like a way to cheat the system and allow you to get Revolution Falcon as if it was ranked up, which is really nice. This is a very good card. Play this at 1, it'll work great in your Raid Raptor deck. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Prank Kids Place! Yes! Prank Kids! Oh, I have not played Prank Kids in Master Duel because right after I got into Master Duel, right after I returned to Master Duel, I was thinking about playing Prank Kids, and then Meow Moo got limited to 1, and I was just like, I'm not going to mess with that. But this is going to be fun. Okay, so when this card is activated, you can add one Prank Kids monster from your deck to your hand. So field spells that search are very, very common, and they're all really good. So this card is definitely a great card. I can't believe that the Prank Kids monsters are all super rare or lower. That's crazy. So if I go through this box 3 times, like the URs are terrible. I don't want any of these URs at more than 1, but I get Prank Kids and Performage. I'm kind of in. I'm kind of in, chat. That's kind of a really good option. Alright. Once per turn, if you fusion summon a Prank Kids fusion monster, you can have all monsters you control gain 500 attack points. Once per turn, if you link summon a Prank Kids link monster, you can have all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack points. You can only activate 1 Prank Kids place per turn. So that's great. You just get your opponent's monsters weakened, then you fusion summon and you get your monster stronger, and you beat them to death. And that's useful. So yeah, this card will be a 3 of. Prank Kids Pranks. Continuous spell. You can discard 1 Prank Kids card, special summon a Prank Kids token, which is a Pyro Fire monster, but it cannot be tributed. During your end phase, you can target 3 Prank Kids cards in your graveyard, except Prank Kids Pranks, shuffle all 3 into the deck, and then draw 1 card. This is actually very, very important for a 20-card deck. Prank Kids go through their resources like crazy. They go through their extra deck like crazy. Being able to shuffle 3 cards back into your graveyard, back into your deck or your extra deck every single turn will give you a lot more reach. It will give you a lot more staying power in the game. I don't know if this card is searchable. I don't know Prank Kids all that well. I've just been beaten by them sometimes and won against them more often than not. But I do know that this card is important to the strategy. If it's not searchable, you would probably play it at 2. Hopefully it is, so you can play it at 1. I'm sad that they didn't talk about a Prank Kids skill in the leaks. This deck, I'm sure it'll be good enough without a skill, but it would be really cool to have a dedicated skill for Prank Kids. It's just a deck that a lot of people like. Altergeist Puker. Okay, alright, so Crimson Reaper was correct. We got Puker. This card's pretty new, so I'm surprised. But, I don't care. Knowing Konami, they're going to limit one of these 2 cards so that Altergeist players stay with the limit 3. Altergeist Puker, level 1 spellcaster with Dark, 300 attack points. If an Altergeist monster you control would be used as link material, you can use this card from your hand as material. You can only use this effect once per turn. If an Altergeist link monster is link summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect of Altergeist Puker once per duel. Okay, so that's pretty good. Basically, if you normal summon a monster, you can then link it off into Hextia and get Puker back in your hand, and then you could. That's it, because you can't. There's not an Altergeist monster that special summons itself during your turn, and you don't have any other ways to get materials on the field. So yeah, this is that's pretty bad. Yeah, no. Hextia with no monsters below it pass. That's what we're looking at for Altergeist. GG, not very good. I guess you could use this to make memory int by getting 3 monsters on the field and then just getting a 3rd one. Yeah, that's probably it. You'll probably use Kunkuri to get, or not Kunkuri, you'll probably use Multifaker to get 3 monsters out, stall out on your opponent, and then you can use Pukri in the hand to link it to memory again, because you need 4 monsters. That'll be it. Okay. The Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. This card came super late. You can discard this card, send one Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard. If another Phantom Knights card is in your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it while it leaves the field. So Torn Scales is essentially what Treason Phantom was. So Treason Phantom was, discard a card and then send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard. So that's basically Torn Scales. But this card also gives you a free body on the board. So it's better than Treason Phantom. You could definitely play it in Treason Phantom to get the effect twice, which is crazy. Yeah, this card's really, really good. It's level 3, which is the important thing. So I'd say this is a easy 3 of in every Phantom Knights deck. Then we have the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force. Yes! Oh my gosh, this is a great card. During your main phase, banish one or more dark monsters from your graveyard, then target a dark Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster, whose rank equals that of the targeted monster you control, plus the number of monsters you banished by using it as material. Also, for the rest of this turn, after you use this card, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. This is treated as an Xyz summon. Transfer its materials to the summon monster. You can only activate one Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force per turn. Sweet! This is a great card. You will use this to make Dark Requiem with 3 materials, and that's going to be insane. You can use this to make Arc Rebellion if you want to, by using, a non-Raiders Knight card as material, although I don't see why you would. Yeah, I don't know what the target's going to be other than Dark Requiem, because I don't feel like you really need it for Arc Rebellion, and I'm not seeing any other Xyz monsters in this box. So kind of sad. I was expecting this card would come with something huge like Ultimate Falcon. Arc Rebellion is huge, don't get me wrong, but they gave us Raiders Knight, so we don't need Rank Up Magic Force for Arc Rebellion. I mean, if they gave us Arc Rebellion without Raiders Knight, that would be kind of interesting, forcing us to play Rank Up Magic Force with like an Xyz monster to get Arc Rebellion and kill people. But I mean, they gave us Raiders Knight. This is just insane. Yeah, it's only one of us, so if you want to play the deck just as is, you could just go through this box once and it'll be good, which is really cheap. Thanks, Konami. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of a disappointment. I mean, I'm excited to play Dark Requiem with 3 materials. Don't get me wrong. That's going to be great, but I wish there were more targets. Hopefully we'll get more targets soon. Last SR in the box is Fabled Marcosia. So here's the Fabled support. Level 4 Light Fiend. It is not a tuner, so you can't use it with Grimoire. If this card is in your hand, you can discard it to 2 monsters, except Fabled Marcosia, but including any other Fabled monster, and if you do, special summon this card. If summoned this way, this card gains 200 attack for each monster discarded. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, add 1 Fabled spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Oh, okay, so you can use this to search the field spell if we get the field spell, which we do. Sweet. Cool. That's really good. You can only use each effect once per turn. Alright. Well, if we can search the field spell, then yeah, it's pretty nice. Discard this card for another effect. Search the field spell. Pop off. Alright. So that's all the SRs. So there was no... First of all, there's no Trapeze Magician, which is really, really weird. I guess Trapeze Magician is going to be one of Dennis's drops, just like it was for Alito. That's pretty nice. But then... what else was I expecting in this box? There was something else that... Ystrix. There's no Ystrix. The fact that there's no Ystrix really hurts Raid Raptors. So I don't know why they're being stingy about keep giving us Ystrix. Revolution Air Raid is fine. And, of course, Rank Up Magic Force is insane. But if they really want Raid Raptors to see play, we need more cards than just this. So I don't necessarily think this is enough, but we'll have to see. Is that 1 Pendulum card? There's 1 Pendulum card in this entire box? How does that even make sense? Alright, whatever. Rank Up Magic Doom Double Force. Target 1 Raid Raptor Xyz monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle and sent there this turn. Special summon it, then special summon from your extra deck 1 Xyz monster that has twice the rank of that monster by using it as Xyz material. Okay, so Doom Double Force is used to make Final Fortress Falcon, which is really cool, but we don't have Final Fortress Falcon, so I guess because we're getting Heal Eagle, this is going to be like you summon Fiend Eagle, and then you can use Doom Double Force to go into a rank 6 like Revolution Air Raid. It's cute, I guess. This is a good card, don't get me wrong, but we don't have any good targets for it right now. So unless we're getting like Ultimate Falcon in the event or something, if we're getting Ultimate Falcon in the event, then this is crazy because we can use Raider's Knight to go into Blaze Falcon, and then we can use Doom Double Force if Blaze Falcon gets destroyed to summon Ultimate Falcon. You know, that's the dream, but it doesn't look like we're getting it. So maybe Ultimate Falcon is being added to the card trader as a limit 1. I'm sorry, that sounds stupid just even saying it. Like that card's crazy good. But yes, they have given us some really good cards in the card trader before. Maybe it's a bundle. Maybe Ultimate Falcon is a limit 1 bundle. If Ultimate Falcon is a limit 1 bundle, then the Doom Double Force makes sense. Otherwise, I don't know why they're giving us Doom Double Force in this box. It doesn't make any sense. We don't have any good targets for it. So yeah, we'll move forward. Number 29, Mannequin Cat. That's funny that we're getting Mannequin Cat. Mannequin Cat is a card that is used to counter hand traps. We do have some hand traps right now, but mostly this card is used to punish people for playing Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, which we don't have yet. So I don't know how common this will be to see, but we'll take a look at it. Number 29, Mannequin Cat, rank 2, requires 2 level 2s. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, and special summon it to your opponent's field. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while you control this monster, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and special summon 1 monster with the same type or attribute from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So, for example, if you are playing... but here's the hard part, like, what deck plays 2s, right? Mostly Melfi. Okay, so if you're playing Melfi, and your opponent discards... Well, there's no Earth hand traps, and there's no Beast hand traps. If your opponent discards Effect Veiler, you can detach 1 material, you can special summon Effect Veiler from their graveyard, then they have a light spellcaster, and you can summon I think there's a Fabled Tuner that's level 2. Oh, I guess this is for Fabled, isn't it? Is there a Fabled Tuner? Yeah, here we go. The Fabled Bonk. Okay, here we go. So yes, number 29, Mannequin Cat. If your opponent Effect Veilers, you can use it to search the Fabled Bonk, which is a level 2 tuner, and then use it to go into Unicore, like a jerk. But you give them Effect Veiler, and you can't destroy it because you don't have a battle phase on turn 1. That's Mannequin Cat. That's what Mannequin Cat is for. It's basically if you get hand trapped, you can use the hand trap to generate advantage, but you give your opponent a summon. Now, it's important to note that the second effect is not just one time. So if your opponent special summons again during their turn, you get to use the effect again, but we have a much smaller board in Duel Links, so it's unlikely that you'll have room. This is a decent card. I don't know if Fabled will play this card, but if they do, it's pretty funny. Alright, Prank Kids Battle Butler. Level 10 Wind Thunder Fusion Monster. Requires Prank Kids Lampsea, Prank Kids Dropsy, and Prank Kids Fansy. And you might be thinking, what's this? A fusion monster that requires specific fusion materials, including 3 specific fusion materials in 2024? This card's bad. No, it's actually not. Prank Kids are weird. Must be fusion summoned. As a quick effect, you can tribute this card. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Amazing. It's just Raigeki. It's Raigeki during your opponent's turn. It does require you to tribute the monster, but I mean that's a really good effect to have. If this card in your possession is just sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can target 1 non-fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. Sorry, not by your opponent's card effect, by your opponent's card. So if it's destroyed in battle as well, then it also triggers. That's really good. Definitely a strong card, so keep an eye on this card. There is other cards that can be used with it, which we'll go over. For right now, just know that there is a Raigeki that Prank Kids has. Next up, we have Prank Kids Doodle Doo, a Link 2 Wind Thunder monster. Requires 2 Prank Kids, 2,000 attack. If this card is Link Summon, you can add 1 Prank Kids spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which will almost always be your place, but if it's not placed, then it will be Pranks. Cool, so Pranks is searchable. So Pranks is searchable, play it at 1. You can tribute this card, then target 2 Prank Kids with different names in your graveyard, add them to your hand. Okay, so you can link 2 monsters off, get this search off of Prank Kids Doodle Doo, and then use this effect to get your Prank Kids back, so you can use them as fusion material. Pretty good. Prank Kid's Pandemonium, a quick play spell card. During the main phase, fusion summon Prank Kid's fusion monsters from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. For the rest of the turn after this effect resolves, you cannot normal or special summon monsters except Prank Kids. Yeah, that's great. So you can fusion summon during your opponent's turn if you want to, but only during the main phase. And you can fusion summon during your turn as well to get your Battle Butler. That's useful. There is another Prank Kids fusion. We'll go over that in just a second. Raider's Unbreakable Mind. We knew this card was coming. This card is always treated as a Phantom Knights and Raid Raptor card. Phantom Knights can search it. I don't think Raid Raptors have an easy way to search it, but Phantom Knights can definitely search it. Continuous Trap. If you exceed summon using a Dark Exceeds monster as material, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. That's pretty useful. If this card is sent to the... If this face-up card in the spell and trap zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can set one rank-up spell from your deck or graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. Sweet, so you play Phantom Knights rank-up Magic Force, you get your pop, and then if your opponent destroys this card, you get your rank-up Magic Force back, and you use it again. Very, very good card, and especially since the skill sets it for you. This is going to be played in Raid Raptors as 1. It'll be played in Phantom Knights if Phantom Knights use the new skill, which they probably won't. So, yeah, solid card. Oh, Raid Raptors Phantom Knights Claw. This is great. This is a great card. Okay, maybe Phantom Knights will see play if they can search a counter trap. Raid Raptor's Phantom Knight's Claw. When a monster effect is activated, detach one material from your Dark Exceeds monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. Then if the detached material was the Phantom Knight's Raid Raptor or Exceeds Dragon card, the one Raid Raptor Exceeds monster you control gains attack equal to that destroyed monster's original attack points. So, yes, this is a very good card. So, it's essentially Exceeds block, but... Never mind, no. Now that I'm reading it, it's just Exceeds block that you can search. That does make it a little bit better for Phantom Knights, but as far as Raid Raptors, you can just play Exceeds block, so I don't know how good this will be. Raid Raptors have historically not played Exceeds block, but then again, they haven't had like a good one-card combo before. Now they just have like a decent two-card combo with Tribute Lanius plus any dark monster in your hand. So yeah, this if that's the case, then they can run more back row. This is a really good back row for them to run. But they're getting Dark Requiem anyway, so this is basically just making Dark Requiem's effect unrespondable. Is that good? Kind of. I mean, you can use it with cards that aren't Dark Requiem, but why would you make anything other than Dark Requiem? So... yeah, we might play this card. I'm not sure yet. The list is going to be tight. The Fabled Bonk, level 2 Light Beast Tuner. If this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one Fabled monster, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, so this is an easy way to discard your Marcosia. It's great. We need more tuners for Fabled. This card will see play. Fabled on Wraith. So I guess this is the card that we are expected to use the skill with, because, well, oh no, wait, no, this is, maybe we're also supposed to use this card. It is a Fiend, but it's not a Fabled card. We'll check on that, but this card is clearly meant to be used with the skill. One Fabled Tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters, so if you summon Fabled Bonk, then you can get the extra normal summon of Grim Row, and that's 2 plus 4 is 6. Fiend Synchro, Lights, 2400 attack, 900 defense. If this card is special summoned, your opponent can discard one card to negate this effect. Otherwise, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. That's crazy. Okay, so either your opponent goes minus, or you get to draw 2 and then discard a card to trigger a Fabled effect. That's really, really good. If a monster is sent from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it to your field, but negate its effects. Oh, so if your opponent's like, oh, I can discard a card to negate this effect, and then discard a monster, you just get the monster back. So your opponent will have to make a decision without necessarily reading the entire card, and you win the game off of that. That's really good. Imagine if your opponent like just discards the blue eyes or something, and you're just like, oh, thank you for the blue eyes. That's mine now. Yeah, it's really good. Negate its effects though. Yeah, this is a decent opening card. I like it. Getting to draw 2 cards just to set up more back row. It's not necessarily a card you want to end on, but it's a good stepping stone if we can get like a better monster. Maybe that's what this level 8 does. Fabled Treason. Trap card. Target one Fabled monster in your graveyard, one face-up card on the field. Discard one card if you do special summon that monster from your graveyard, and if you do, destroy that card on the field. That's a really solid effect. Yeah, and you can search it with the Tricosia or Marcosia. So yeah, this card's good. You know, we should get this card. So yeah, play out. All right, Groza, Tyrant of Thunder, Dark Fiend Synchro, level 8, requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner Fiend monsters. During your opponent's main phase, you can target 1 effect monster on the field, discard 1 monster, and if you do, negate that monster's effects until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Groza, Tyrant of Thunder once per turn. If a Fiend monster is sent from your hand to the graveyard, you can apply one of the following effects to it until the end of the turn. Cannot be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Okay, so that effect is not once per turn. So if you discard 3 different Fiends, you can activate all 3 of these effects. Okay, this seems like a clear Fabled boss monster, so yeah, this is definitely a card that we're going to play. Is this like a good enough card to use? I mean, it does have a negate, but it's only during the main phase. But that is the most important time. But you can't make it undestroyed by your opponent's card effects until you've used an effect. So if your opponent just Dark Holes you, I mean, the Dark Hole is an answer to everything. It's got good stats. I like this card. I think Fabled has a chance with this card. Clock Arc. Rank level 4 with a scale 4. Machine Pendulum monster. If you control no monsters or only Pendulum monsters, apply this effect based on the card's Pendulum zone. If it's on the left scale, then you reduce the scale by 3, so it'll be 1. If it's on the right, you can increase the scale by 4. During your opponent's standby phase, you can special summon this card. That's hilarious. Okay, that's a really good effect. A Pendulum scale that special summons itself during your opponent's turn. Absolutely insane. Okay, I like this card. And if you put it in the left zone, it's a scale 1 with no restrictions. Okay, so it's a good card, but I don't know. You would have to have like a deck to play it in. Monster effect. If this card is special summoned to a zone that is not the center main monster zone, destroy it. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can target 1 card in your Pendulum zone, destroy it, and if you do, place this card in your Pendulum zone. Okay, so you have to summon it to the center monster zone, and then it just can't be destroyed by battle during your opponent's turn. That's really good. Yeah, that's a solid Pendulum card. I like it. Amaze Attraction Thrill Train. Oh, did we not get an Amaze Attraction last time? Well, now here's the last one. Target 1 amazing monster you control, 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and equip it. If it's yours, you can change the monster's battle position, and then your opponent chooses an attraction trap in your graveyard, and you set it to your field. Wow, that's really good. Your opponent banish the equipped monster until the end phase. Okay, so it's either Farfa or it's Recursion. That's really, really strong. Yeah, so this card is great. Play it at 1. The Pass of Destiny. Most players toss a coin once. If the result is head, they gain 2,000 life points, and if the result is tails, they take 1,000 damage. Sure. I guess this is a card that's intended to work with Performage to deal an extra 1,000 damage with the Stilts Launcher. Solid. You also take no damage if you're playing Performage Trapeze Magician. So, yeah, this is actually a really funny card for Performages to get. I like it. All right, now we have the actual Prank Kids monsters. Since people, well, I don't know, this is they haven't been anywhere else. Okay, so Lamp Seas. This is a Fire Pyro level 3. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion or link summon of a Prank Kids card, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Then you can special summon 1 Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. So as you can see, this is why it doesn't matter if they are specific names for Battle Butler, because you just get all of them. So, normal summon Lamp Seas, link it into Meowmoo, then you get to special summon Fansies or Roxy's, and then you just keep going. Really good. Drop Seas. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the fusion or link summon of a Prank Kids monster, you can gain 1,000, then special summon a Prank Kids monster from your deck. Fansies. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion or link summon of a Prank Kids monster, you can send 1 Prank Kids card from your deck to the graveyard, then you can special summon 1 Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position. So with Fansies, you want to send a card that you didn't already use, and then you can link it into Doodle Doo and then get that card back. Is there not Roxy's? Ooh, okay, so we're only getting 3 Prank Kids main deck monsters. I mean, it's only a 20 card deck, but still, that's not too many materials to work with. I guess we're not getting a Link 4, so it doesn't really matter for right now. We do need the Link 4, though. So, this is a good start. This is a good start to the Prank Kids deck. I don't have a problem with this. Prank Kids Rocket Ride requires 2 Prank Kids monsters. If this card is fusion summoned, then you can have this card lose 1,000 attack points this turn. Also, it can attack directly this turn, so you can hit your opponent for 1,000. You contribute this card, then target 2 Prank Kids non-fusion monsters with different names in your graveyard, special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. Okay, so you can potentially fuse from your hand, and then tribute this card to get both the monsters you use as material on your field, so that you can use them as link material or something. So that's an option. Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark requires, it's a Link 2, requires 2 Prank Kids monsters. A Prank Kids monster this card points to gains 1,000 attack points. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you contribute this card to target with 2 Prank Kids cards with different names in your graveyard. Add them to your hand. Also, Prank Kids monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. I mean, that's a fine card, but it's... So we didn't get Meow Moo either. But the problem is Meow Moo is like required to play the deck because you don't really have a way to send these cards to the graveyard as Link material except for a Link 1. So the Link 1 is extremely vital. So I guess the Link 1 is going to be like a Limit 1 bundle or going to be added to the card trader. They will probably add Meow Moo to the card trader so that they can like adjust it the same way that they adjusted Petting Sisor. When Petting Sisor first came out, it was a Limit 1, then they could make it a Limit 2, and then they just made it unlimited. They'll probably do the same thing with Meow Moo. They'll probably say, okay, we need Meow Moo to be Limit 1 for right now, and then later on we can make it, when the game gets power crept a little bit more, we can give them more copies. That's smart. Okay, Prank Kids Plan. During the main phase, you can activate this effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon 1 Prank Kids Link monster using Prank Kids monsters your opponent control as material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard to shuffle any number of Prank Kids cards from your graveyard into the deck. And if you do, the attacking monster loses 1 higher attack for each card shuffled until the end of the turn. Okay, so this is a card that you can mill with fancies, and it'll be a decent effect. Yeah, don't use this card as the main card, but you can mill it as a one-of and then get the grave effects to protect you. Yeah, it's good. Raid Raptor Heal Eagle, finally. They kept this card from us for over a year, and then when they do release it, it's just a neutral rarity card. That's rough. That hurts. Why didn't they just give it to us then? If all monsters you control are Raid Raptor monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Raid Raptor spell trap in your graveyard, and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Alright, well now we have easy access to Fiend Eagle, so now we can play Burn Raptors, which is good. It took forever, but I'm glad this card's finally here. Stairway to a Fabled Realm. This is a field spell. When this card is activated, you can send 1 Fabled monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can target 1 Fabled monster in your graveyard, discard 2 cards, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. So this is a search that requires a pretty heavy cost, but that's pretty good for you. You can only use this effect once per turn. If your Fabled monster attacks an opponent's monster, you have less cards in your hand than your opponent. Your monster gains attack equal to the difference of the number of cards in the hand times 200 during damage calculation only. So for example, if your opponent has 3 cards in their hand and you have no cards in your hand, all your monsters gain 600 attack points whenever they battle an opponent's monster. Nice. You can only activate 1 Stairway to a Fabled Realm per turn. Fair. Okay, this is a good card. Chaos Greffer, light, level 4 warrior. While face up on the field, this card is also dark attribute. You can discard 1 light or dark monster, send 1 light or dark monster with a different attribute from your deck to the graveyard, but for the rest of the turn you can't special summon monsters with the same name as the monster in the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, I guess that's supposed to be something that you play with Fabled, but it's bad, so don't do it. Amazement Assistant Delia, light, level 4 machine monster. You can reveal 1 attraction trap in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. Cool, that's really good. You can send 1 attraction trap from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard to set 1 attraction trap directly from your deck. Also good. Okay, so you can send 1 of your attraction traps to the graveyard, set your attraction Thrill Train, then you use Thrill Train to change Delta's position, and then you can set the card that was in your graveyard. Yeah, these 2 cards combine very well together. Undaunted Bumpkin Beast, level 2 Fire Beast. During the main phase, if your opponent special summons 3 or more monsters this turn, as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Okay, so it's a level 2 beast, and it's free special during your opponent's turn. Or no, well, I mean, it could be during your turn if your opponent special summoned 3 or more monsters, which if they did, you are in trouble. That's cool. So this card's just a level 2 beast that you can summon, maybe from the deck with Mannequin Cat if your opponent discards a fire monster, to use as material for Fabled cards. That's good. And then lastly, we have Silvervine Senri, Wind Beast. Okay, so this card can be used if your opponent Ghost Mourners you. That's really good. So again, this is another card that you can summon off of Mannequin Cat, which works really well with Fabled. You contribute this card, target 1 level 2 monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you can special summon 1 level 2 monster from your hand with a different attribute than the monster special summoned by this effect. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's a really good effect. Yeah, cool. So that's definitely a Fabled card. Alright, well there you go. There's the box. What are my thoughts? Altergeist, probably not going to be that good, even with these cards. Raid Raptors will be insane. I can't believe we got Arc Rebellion. That's crazy good. And then Revolution Falcon Air Raid is also a decent card. Doom Double Force, got to keep your eye on that card. If we get Ultimate Falcon, then it's going to be crazy. Raiders Unbreakable Mind is okay. Phantom Knights, they got Torn Scales, that's what they needed. Arc Rebellion also lets them kill people. Play Treason Phantom, play your Dark Requiem on turn 1, play Arc Rebellion on turn 2, and win the game. Pretty decent. Performage, we didn't get too many Performage cards in the box, which is surprising. So I guess most of them will be level up rewards or drops, which makes sense because there's barely any of them. There's no Pendulum cards in the box, so that's concerning. This is a Pendulum deck. We need both the Pendulum scales, so we're going to have to see what they do with these. So far, I'm not convinced Performage will be good if this is the only cards that we get in the box. We'll have to see what the event looks like. And then Prank Kids, we got all the cards that we necessarily need for the deck to be okay as long as we get Miamu. If we do not get Miamu, this deck is trash. Don't play this deck at all if we don't get Miamu, because you have no way to start the combo. You need to link one of your monsters off to even start playing the game. So, but we're probably going to get Miamu. Konami is not that stupid. So Miamu as a one-of hurts the deck a lot, but you basically will win the game off of it. It's important to note, since Miamu isn't in the box and I can't talk about it, Miamu has an effect where if you attribute a monster, you can banish it from the graveyard instead. It's a link 1. So this will allow you to use Prank Kid's Battle Butler to Raigeki your opponent without giving it up on the field. That's really good. So yeah, Prank Kids will be decent. Fabled will be also pretty decent. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, there you go. 2 decent decks, 1 really good deck. That's an anime deck. And then Altergeist players can play more Altergeist, which is just bad. And thank you very much for coming. My name is Seraphi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.